Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. I'm, as always, James J. With me, my trusted co-host, Kaliko Yachts,
What up? What up? What up?
and this is Wrestling with Entertainment. How are you, Kaliko, this week?
Oof, man, this week exams done, summer school's done, one more step to graduating, and now I got time to just indulge into all this overload of wrestling that just so happened to be happening the week that my summer school's over. So it's gonna be it's a lot. It's a lot now. People were wanting variety. You can't complain, man. It's a lot to watch. Like not only this week, but shit, the next month and a half.
I'm just asking because last week, we had the return of Mitch Mayhem, and uh, it uh, it made me curious that you kind of left during the podcast, and then you were telling me earlier that Mitch hired some thugs to jump you.
I know, man. He got his New Japan buddies to come and catch me, man. You know, when Suzuki comes and gets you, you gotta run, man. You gotta run. When Suzuki's knocking at your door, get the hell out.
Oh,
Get
or you could be like Rocky and hide behind a tree.
that too. See, I jumped off 2 stories. This ain't my life.
And the damage you would have taken from that jump would be nothing compared what Suzuki would do to you.
See, exactly. So I'd rather put the pain on myself. Worth it in the end, but I'm back. Damn it.
And this week, you gave Mitch that receipt. You knocked him out once again.
Yeah, man. Once I found out what was popping, got to catch him in the parking lot now. It's on now.
Yeah, he should have brought the back up at the parking lot. Is what he should have done.
Yeah, see, that's it, man.
Yeah.
He got caught slipping. I had to catch him slipping.
Now, because you were obviously running for your life from Suzuki last week. We never got to talk about the Ring of Honor show, Best in the World. If I could just get your thoughts on that show.
Overall, the show it it was okay. Um, to me, you could tell like ROH is still struggling trying to find that identity after like pretty. Let's just face it. When the Bucks, Cody, and Omega left, I mean, it, they were just basically struggling to find like their niche and their lane. But it's still a stacked talent. Like you still got like Jay Lethal, the Briscoes. You got Jeff Cobb, Matt Taven, Dalton Castle. Uh, even to Neil Dashwood. I mean, they have talent. Kelly Klein. They got talent. It's just a matter of trying to put them in a position to where their star status is on par with those of the ones that left.
Yeah.
And the best bet would probably be AJ Lethal. But the problem is they already gave him a title run in the middle of that, right? So, you know, and I get it. They're just trying to make it a collection of stars, kind of like how WWE does it. It's not just one person attached to the company. It's the company itself that becomes the brand. And I think that's what most wrestling companies are trying to do now. So just in case people leave, the machine keeps going.
Well, I was really disappointed in the main event, the Cobb Matt Taven match. I thought both of those guys would have had a better match. But in all honesty, if you bought a ticket to that show, you were probably coming to go see Devil and Enterprise's Lifeblood match.
Pretty much, because their biggest star is yeah, their biggest star is
Marty Scurll.
Warriors Girl. So I mean that's the biggest household. That's the biggest possible household name. So their two biggest stars are Matt Marty Skrull and Jay Lethal.
True.
And Jay Lethal is big on the front because he was one of those African American wrestlers whose craft was taken seriously, and Marty Skrull, of course, because of Bullet Club, and there you go.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on Flip Gordon becoming a part of Villain Enterprises, now Mercenary Gordon?
It makes sense because I mean, Flip has been in and out with the Bullet Club anyway, so it only makes sense to put him with someone who he's comfortable with and who he could shine with. So,
Do you think
and he
Flip
could
is gonna succeed as a heel?
I mean, he succeeded anyway, just because I don't think Flip was known as a face or a heel. I just think that he was more known as a guy who could do awesome stunts. Now, if he changes his style, then that's a different tune. So it's good to see different sides of people when it comes to wrestling, because you don't want one to be just a face the whole time or a heel the whole time. Kind of want them to be like a gray in the middle, or one of the extremes that, just work the craft a different way. And
Yeah.
plus, them changing gives it like a breath of fresh air.
They're trying stuff. And
Yeah, and seeing what sticks.
exactly. Alright, and let's get to the main event here. We are wrestling with the G1 in Dallas. Now, I watched the whole show, and
Yeah.
my thoughts on the whole show was that this was the closest thing we've saw of a New Japan import in America. Like the card top to bottom, you could easily see that in Japan.
True, because when they did the California shows, when they did it, I'll put it this way. This show in Dallas is the closest to the first show in Long Beach. And that first show in Long Beach was basically over a 2-day span, where it was basically most of the Japanese stars. You had a couple of ROH guys, but for the most part, it was Japan. But this was like an all Japan show, all New Japan show.
Yeah. And even down to the ring having their sponsors on them, because usually when they come to America, they don't have the canvas with all those sponsors' names and stuff.
With all the sponsors, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make that in. Well, it was the night one of the G1, so of course it was going to be like that. I think it was different from the other one because the first one in Long Beach, it was basically to crown a champion. This one is their baby. This is their biggest tournament, I would say, of the year. This is the biggest tournament for them of the year. So
it's the biggest wrestling
tournament
in all of wrestling.
True. I mean, Bola's close, but that's just to me because Bola, PWG, Battle of Los Angeles, that's like the hardest ticket to find. I feel like I got to be an Illuminati just to get that ticket. But yeah, this is about as closest to being like that.
Yeah, I think the tickets to PWG so that isn't Battle Los Angeles, let alone Battle Los Angeles.
I know it's a bitch getting those tickets. Like, bro, man. I tried to stay up. I sat there, did the pre-sales, all that shit.
Yep.
By the time I logged in, it's sold out. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, same here. We're in the same boat, man.
Yeah, and this is me asking people how. I had to Google how to get PWG tickets.
If you have to Google how to get tickets, then it's way too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is true. But back to this G1, I think it was a solid, impressive footing. I think it was up there with the first show with that they did in Long Beach. because the crowd, you could tell it was different. I think the Dallas crowd did it great because it's the first time them being in the Midwest because they have always done San Francisco or New York or North Carolina.
Yeah,
They always touch the coasts, but they never hit like a heartland like Dallas where somebody from New Orleans could drive from New Orleans to Dallas, you know what I mean? Or somebody could drive from Tennessee to Dallas or Oklahoma to Dallas. It's a shorter drive. So I think it was top to bottom a great show. Hard hitting. It just shows you. And I had people that went to the show and some people that probably watched it live for the first time and they're like, holy shit, this is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, it's Japanese wrestling is looked totally different. They look at it as a legit, almost such a legit sport with a legit. They get the best of being considered a sport, but also being considered an art form to where the audience is into like trying to take over the show, especially the Japanese audience.
And when you brought up the crowd, I think that was maybe the only negative was that they were nowhere near sold out.
True, but I look at it like I think they did American Airlines Arena, and that's a big arena to fill.
It is.
Like when they did the Cow Palace, but they did
Cow Palace, yeah.
They did the Cow Palace in San Francisco, smaller venue. When they did the convention center in Long Beach, smaller venue. When they did the stadium for CSU Long Beach, that pyramid it looks big, but it's relatively small inside when it comes. So I mean, you're looking at a
but they 15 didn't sell to 20,000 Cow Palace either.
True. But I to me though, I think they do better when it's more intimate. But I think they got away from the convention center because everything was flat. You know how like the seating was flat as hell, so people really can see. They did CSU Long Beach, which to me was perfect because every seat was a great seat. Like
it really was.
Like it was really really great for them to do it there. The problem they could have did the convention center because there's a stadium. When NXT Takeover Dallas was there, they didn't do American Airlines. They did a one of the venue that was attached to the end of the Dallas Convention Center. Yeah. I felt like that would have been a lot better for them because
that would have made sense.
It would have been more compact, and the sound would have echoed, the crowd would have echoed. It would have made more sense. But I think because they were signed with Axis and Mark Cuban owns the Mavericks, kind of gave them that freebie to use the American Airlines because shit, why not?
Yeah, if they got a good deal on the building, then they definitely at least broke even.
Right.
Yeah. So let's get into the matches. The first match of the G1, the opening. Lance Archer defeated Will Ospreay in 18 minutes and 16 seconds with the claw.
There goes Lance Archer taking a bunch of L's because he got his first L of the night on Will Ospreay. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there goes him taking a bunch of losses because he got a win. So I mean, he is a Texas kid, so it makes sense. I like I said, I don't know. Maybe Will Ospreay is the sacrificial lamb of this, but to me, I think it was just something to give Lance Archer a start. And you could see like Will Ospreay fluctuating his weight, getting the best of him in this match, right? Going from never open to light heavyweight or junior, and so on and so forth. So he's giving up that weight. Even though the G1 no belts are defended, but essentially he was going in as a lightweight because after the show, after what, I don't think you can bulk up that much in 2 weeks.
Probably not.
So, I mean, I can see the logic in the losing there.
And it's not their first match against each other. They had a match in the New Japan Cup. Yeah, the New Japan Cup that Will Ospreay actually won. But I feel like this match was a lot better than that one.
Yeah, I mean, because it's Dallas, they get a chance to shine. American crowd probably, they're practically the first match of the G1, so got to let them set it off properly. Probably plus they got the cobwebs out from that first meeting,
Yeah. The second match, Bad Luck Fale defeated Evil in 11 minutes and 33 seconds with the Bad Luck Fall. This was everything you kind of expected to be. A lot of controversy, a lot of not interference, but a lot of things that could have got these guys disqualified.
Yeah. I mean, I think they just let them fight. Because to me, Bad Luck Fale versus Evil doesn't sound like a technical wrestling or high-flying wrestling explosion, right? It just sounds like two dudes ready to just throw chairs at each other and just beat the piss out of each other. So I think they just let the rules bend a little bit, let them bend it, but not break it completely.
It seemed like they pretty much broke those rules.
I mean, they did, but the ref wasn't going to call it. Come on, man.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. You knew damn well the ref wasn't going to call it. So.
And I knew that Fale was probably going to get some wins in this tournament, but I didn't think he was going to beat Evil. So that was kind of a surprise to me.
It is, but when you look at like Fale's G1 record, he's usually top 4. So it's like he gets those sneaky wins. Like he'll fuck around. And he usually like at the end of the thing, you're like, damn, how the fuck he get 12 points? Like he's usually that guy. He's that guy that gets a silent 12, and you're like, holy shit, he could make the finals.
Yeah, and it's really the G1's always been like his time, because usually you don't see him anywhere afterwards or in a minor role afterwards.
Right.
Next match on the card, Sonata defeated Zack Sabre Jr. in 21 minutes and 12 seconds with the O'Connell Bridge. My opinion, match of the night.
Oh yeah, and I think this put Sonata as a player to win this block. I'm telling you, man, it's.
I know you have a Sonata. I have Coda. So, but I have Sonata in there.
Yeah, but to me, he's the favorite, and for him to have a match like this and come out on top, man, that's solid 2 points, and that lets you know that like they're looking at him like, show us what you got, and I think when he fights Okada again, Tanahashi will be like the bar of whether or not he could actually pull it off.
Yeah, but when he fights Okada, I'm calling a draw. I'm gonna say that he doesn't win against Okada, but he doesn't lose either, because it makes people clamor for that rematch of, he didn't beat him last time, it went the distance. You kind of know what I mean?
Right. It's kind of like the Kenny Omega route, where Omega lost the first time, the second time it was a draw, and it just shows you. It shows that he's improving, right? Yeah. That's the whole point. I don't expect him to like dominate Okada, but I expect him to do better than what he did at the New Japan Cup.
And
So
I will say this: Zack Sabre Jr. always goes. He never lets anybody beat him twice, especially in a row. Oh, and Sonata has beaten him twice in a row, so that's pretty big deal.
true, but I also think like to me it's his time. Like it's truly his time. Like he's that I told you, man, he's that dude, man. The ladies be besides Tanahashi and Okada, he makes the ladies like whoo.
I thought we
And
established that Evil had some emo girls clamoring for him.
that's true, but Sonata get them regular girls. Ooh. Get those Forever 21 picks going. Ooh, who is this dude?
Alright,
Solidly man.
next match in the G1. Kenta beat Kota Ibushi in 20 minutes and 51 seconds with the go to sleep. Not a surprising loss for Kota Ibushi, in my opinion.
Nah, because you got to put Kenta as a player. Surprising that they had them like right when Ibushi brings them in. Oh yeah, you're gonna fight him night one. Damn, like talk about throwing friendship out the window. But
Trial by fire, man.
you know what I'm saying? But it's just like to give Kenta that boost, former WWE guy. Still a solid wrestler. I think he just, I think a lot of the injuries derailed him in WWE because he was on his way, man. He was on his way and he just got hurt. And it's just the name of the game. But now he gets to come back home. He's probably a lot more comfortable being able to wrestle a style he's better at. He's able to use the move he invented. Newsflash for those. He invented the GTS. Uh, but yeah, it just feels like, to give him that dark horse area. Plus, didn't Ibushi like have a sprained ankle after the match? Like he really sprained some shit.
Did he?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Like they had a picture of his ankle. Ugh.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Fun,
they went hard. Kenta came out the winner, and
fun little side story. The first ever like NXT event that I got to see on the WWE Network, like I didn't get the WWE Network right away, was the NXT paid preview that Kenta actually got injured at. So
oh,
I never got to see him wrestle in NXT.
see, I got to see him when they did the very first NXT show because they started this at 31, and it was Kenta versus Tyler Breeze, and Kenta hit the GTS, and people went shit crazy, bat shit crazy.
Was that the show, the NXT show on Saturday night?
Yeah, the Saturday night show. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't go to that.
yeah, that was yeah. They went bonkers that night, and ever since then, that's when and when they saw the crowd that jumped into that, that's when they were like, "Oh yeah, we're doing this shit every year." And ever since then, it's just been on like neck bounce, on like neck bounce.
Just talking a little bit more about that match. You know, Kota Ibushi, one of the best athletes New Japan has. I don't think it was his best match, and I haven't seen a whole lot of Kenta, so I can't really speak for his ability. But honestly, I kind of felt like the match went a little too long. I didn't think either guy really had the crowd going.
Uh, that's true because I mean, Kenta really hasn't wrestled probably since I don't know this for sure, but I'm betting he hasn't wrestled since he left WWE.
When did he leave
Ibushi,
WWE?
I want to say like February.
February, okay. So quite a
So
while.
February. So it's been a hot minute. He's still got some. He had to work some rust out. That's why I was like surprised that he even jumped into G1 in the first place. Because he's been rusty. Um, Yeah, Nabushi, it wasn't his greatest match, but it was more to put Kenta as a threat because Ibushi's already solidified.
Yeah.
Because no one would take Kenta seriously if, even if he loses the rest of the way, at least he got that one.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but they could have had like a better match.
True, I get what you're saying. I just think the chemistry, you know,
Yeah.
chemistry plus the rustiness of Kenta, it wasn't gonna be like this blow your socks off match that
So you
most
think
people probably.
Kenta is gonna only get better at this point, or are we gonna see that he decreases?
I think he can only get better because you got to think he spent what 4 or 5 years wrestling the WWE style, so now he's trying to come back and get back to his style,
Can you
and
even
now he's
really
going
call it
back
5 years? Because he was like injured for maybe 2.5 years or 3 years
to
of
two and
that.
a half. Yeah, that's true. But even when you like get hurt and you're coming back and he's training, he's still training doing the WWE TV method, if that makes sense. So to me, he still got to get out of
Breaking
that
bad habits.
style in breaking that habit and get back into his habit.
Right?
You know, being used to being able to go off his instincts than having to go off what WWE said.
The next match in the main event, Kazuchika Okada defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi in 22 minutes and 4 seconds with a Rainmaker. Um, yeah, a lot of things to talk about in this match. Okada, first of all, it's the fourth match in the G1, and
Mm-hmm.
all three of them were tied until this match, which Okada won.
Yep.
It's the shortest time Okada's ever beaten Tanahashi in 22 minutes. Usually they go over 30 minutes every single
Yeah,
match.
they're usually going a long time. But this just goes to show you, though, that Okada's the guy. Like Tanahashi, like I said, if Tanahashi is the John Cena, Okada is the Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but I disagree with you, Kaliko, because we already knew that Okada was the guy. But it kind of shows you that Tanahashi is going down because he used to hold out with Okada, but now all this ability he's lost in that time.
That's true, but you're also missing the fact that Okada's still in his prime. So, like, you expect him to kind of like make a little light work, if you will. So, not to disrespect Tanahashi, but Okada's only 31. He's in the prime, bro. Like he's at his peak. He should be able to like rust people off. But then again, the Okada character, he has this thing where he kind of like wrestles to other people's level, and that's where he gets like fucked up because he kind of gets a little too cocky, if you
Yeah.
will. And I think this match, he knew he couldn't take for granted because it's all time great, and he's fallen short to him before, so he had to finish it.
Mm, I guess, but I feel like it just showed you how much stronger Okada got and how much weaker Tanahashi's got.
I mean, true, but you can say with Tanahashi beating the guy who eventually stole off on Okada's reign, I mean it's nothing to sniff at. Because keep in mind, Okada was the man, and a guy named Kenny Omega ran up past him, and Tanahashi was able to get him one night. Like, so
True.
it's not too far fetched. I get what you're saying, but you know,
Yeah.
it's not as a precipitous of a drop off as you would think. Now, how he does the rest of this G1, that will tell you whether he's in a decline.
Okay. So you're in the boat of let's wait and see.
Yeah, because I think the biggest test for me is for him in this bracket. I think him versus Sonata will tell me a lot.
Okay.
Because that will tell me whether they think Sonata's going to be the next guy, or if they still have the faith in Tanahashi to get it done.
Well, it's not a far cry if Sonata beats Tanahashi in the
Oh,
G1. He's done it
oh
before,
no, no, no.
actually.
Yeah, I know that. I get that. But Sonata has not been put in a position that he has been like now,
Yeah.
to me.
No, you're right.
And that's a big factor. Like Sonata beating him just to like get the win, yeah, that's fine. But Sonata beating him to dominate and become an A block champion and hopefully a G1 winner, that's this whole different game.
Another match that's interesting for Tanahashi is against Kenta. Are they going
Yeah,
to let the Ace get that win over Kenta, or are they really gonna push Kenta to the moon at this point?
yeah, that's another one. Like that was the second one I was gonna say. Sonata and Kenta are like the ones because I've seen him fight Fale, I've seen him fight Osprey, I've seen him fight Saber. So you know what I mean. So we kind of see where that could go stylistically, but those two are the biggest because Sonata is the guy who, in my mind, is going to be next up, and Kenta is the guy who just got there, and they are going to want to make him a formidable opponent, a formidable player in any division he chooses. So,
Right. All right, and that's our coverage of the G1. Pretty good show. Went
yeah,
went a little short this week.
I know it's pretty short. It's a lot to deal with. We got next week. We got the second night. We got the second night. We still got Extreme Rules. We still got Fight for the Fallen. We still got the
Extreme Rules.
Evolve show that popped up. So it's a lot, man. We gotta keep now. Since I'm out of school, I can finally watch all them goddamn things. I stay up to 4 in the morning watching every goddamn wrestling match.
And then when it's time to go to bed, there's another G1 night.
I know, so I'm just gonna like go to bed and just wake up and watch it at like 9, 10 in the morning. I find that it's best to not stay up because what I used to do with New Japan, I used to just like gotta power through till like 2, 3 in the morning and just watch it. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it, just go to bed, wake up 8, 9, 10, and I'll watch it. It doesn't matter. Like it's all the same. I just
I
have
was
to
just
block
gonna say
myself.
that you could watch it at a decent hour. That's what I usually do.
But you know what? When it was like the Okada Omegas, I felt like I had to watch that live. Like I just, you know what I mean? It's a little different watching them live, watching that guy live, or watching that rivalry live. It was like watching like goddamn Cleveland versus Golden State or something.
Rock versus Dawson.
Yeah, it was almost like Rock versus Austin, Rock Hogan, Punk Cena, Money in the Bank. It was on that level to me. So I was
That
willing to
rivalry
take it.
was. Alright, well let's cover the Extreme Rules pay preview. Let's see what let's preview that tomorrow. We are
Yeah,
wrestling. We are wrestling with Extreme Rules. Let's take it from the top. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans in a winner-take-all Extreme Rules match. Honestly, not excited for this match at all.
not really. And I'm surprised, like, WWE takes a relationship and go, yeah, we're gonna push that shit. Like, let's push the real. But then again, I get it because they're trying to make anything that can connect to the crowd. And what more can connect to the crowd than having two of your top wrestlers in a relationship? And it's almost like they're making it seem like they're the Hove and Beyonce of wrestling, in a sense. Because of the way, because he's the champ, she's the champ. They're both big draws. They're both big names. So I get where they're going with it, and they're tugging on heartstrings and so on and so forth. And I see it. I just wish that it wasn't at the sacrifice of Lacey Evans, because that girl has, I think she's won a lot of people over, personally.
I personally feel
I just think I think like the way she talks.
no. I think Lacey Evans
Yeah, go ahead.
is doing a good job, but I'm not behind the Seth Becky relationship angle. I just think it makes both of them look bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it, but I just also see what they're doing. They're just like, oh, because they already were dating, and once it popped out that they were dating, it broke the internet, and they're just like, oh yeah, let's just capitalize on it. I mean, capitalize on realism, because that, I think that's what they're trying to go with now. Like, let's stop with this hokey pokey shit and let's just get real. Because that's the one thing New Japan, as much as like scripted, it feels more real
Oh, without a doubt.
than what WWE does, right? Like,
Yeah.
the pitfalls, the downfalls, and the uprisings feel a little bit more to humanistic, if you will.
You're
Like,
absolutely right about that.
than what WWE does. So they're trying to get some of that with, oh my God, we have these two lovebirds and they're just all over the place and they're in love, and let's just use that to our advantage.
Who's win-
Um,
Who's winning the match, Kaliko?
who's winning the? Come on, man, really? Really? You gotta ask. You gotta ask. Baron Corbin's in this match. That tells you who's gonna win. Uh, if that doesn't tell you who's gonna win, I don't know what is.
Alright, so you're going with Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans then?
Of course, of course. Hell no, man. Get the hell out of here. My buddy, of course, is Rollins and Becky. They gotta have formidable competitors at SummerSlam next month. So
Yeah.
not gonna let them go. They're not gonna let them go to SummerSlam empty-handed.
Next match, Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship.
Now this one though, oh no, oh no, oh no,
You can honestly,
oh no.
you can honestly say that Samoa Joe is the first big threat to Kofi Kingston's reign.
I can say that he's the favorite in this bitch. Like, straight up. I love Kofi. I love what he's done. I've loved him as a champion. But to me, Joe should have been a champ a while ago. And to me, this is his. To me, this tells me whether they're going to pull the trigger on him becoming a champ, because this is literally the closest he could get to getting a championship and winning it.
You know what? I hope so. I've been a Samoa Joe fan for so long, and just seeing him in WWE is a great honor, and he deserves that championship so much. And
Yeah, and keep in mind, he was the U.S. champ, and they dropped him from it 2 weeks after he got it. So,
and having him beat Kofi Kingston, anybody that's gonna beat Kofi Kingston, there's gonna be immediately heat over that.
right.
And nobody's gonna handle that better than Samoa Joe.
That's exactly what I think. I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. he's the guy who has the microphone skills to adjust to what the crowd is doing, or how the crowd's going to come at him. And to me, if you're going to have someone take it off of him, well, to me, him and Kevin Owens are probably the two best mics men in the goddamn in that company, because they're willing to go on the fly. They could get to the line without getting over it. And to me, Joe is the perfect foe for Kofi to try to get over. I could see Kofi maybe barely winning and possibly dropping it at SummerSlam. I could see Samoa Joe winning, losing it at SummerSlam. I think a lot of people are just afraid that once Kofi loses the belt, he's not going to get back to that mountaintop. So they want him to make this run count.
Well, he's had it for a relatively long time, longer than a lot of other guys would have it.
Jinder's first run, Jinder's only run, was pretty fucking long.
How long did I think from June to November?
About November, roughly, give or take. So he had a run.
Yeah, it maybe have seemed that long, but it wasn't as long as people think it was, like a whole year or. But
that's I just think I could see people trying to compare that run to Jinder's run.
What do you think if Kofi loses the belt that he might get another shot at a run, or do you think this is his last hurrah?
That's the issue, because they got rid of that rematch clause. So even if he loses, he's got to start all over.
True.
But so
he needs Samoa Joe needs an opponent for SummerSlam, and
true.
Kofi climbing that mountain again.
True, but if he were to lose, this would be the proper person to kick his ass.
Oh, without that.
This would be the one guy to beat the piss out of him. Now, Samoa Joe could also take him to that place where he and that's what the thing I liked about Joe in this program. Joe took Kingston to that place where Kingston had to get serious, right? Like everyone kept saying he was kind of hokey pokey with the belt and he's too friendly and he's still doing that like BS. But I think this guy brought out the fact that, I need to be hella serious about this guy because he could literally beat my ass.
All right, I'm putting you on the spot. Who wins the match?
My heart says Joe. My mind says Kofi. So I'm going to go with Kofi. Barely. I think it's going to be some stupid shit where it's a barely thing and they could push this thing out, because I feel like Joe is the perfect guy for him to feud with for a while. Yeah. To make him be more of that serious champion that most people want.
I'm going with Joe again. I can't help myself. I need Samoa Joe as my WWE champion.
I totally understand. I understand it. I'm not even mad at it. But I just think like giving him a little bit more time with Kofi and then finally doing something crazy to get the belt at SummerSlam, I think would be a better bet. Because I feel like Seth and Becky are going to walk out SummerSlam. Something's going to have to change. And why not change it at the show where I think most heels win anyway, which is SummerSlam.
True. Next match, Roman Reigns and Undertaker versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre in a no-holds-barred match.
Oh, God. Where do I want to start with this? So Roman retires the Taker just for Taker to come back and help him? Like, that just, okay. Shane, I feel like this is something where Kevin Owens is going to fuck him over.
Because
if you look Because if you looked at what happened on Tuesday when
Yeah.
he was like, "Yo, this is too much Shane," and I feel like that could do something to get Shane off of Roman for a while and have him focus on KO. I don't know where Roman's gonna go from here because that's the only thing too. Because if Joe beats Kingston, that puts Reigns in that position to go against Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
So it's a lot of shuffling that's about to pop off for SummerSlam. So
It'd be
um,
interesting to see what happens.
it is. This is probably like the SmackDown side is the most interesting because everything is a fucking question mark,
Sure.
and you can literally see how like pieces are getting shuffled. Vice the Raw side, I mean, technically it's almost solidified in itself with the Universal and fucking women's champ, but
Right. So, what about what about Undertaker and Drew McIntyre in this match? I mean,
uh,
Undertaker could go into the good night, and we won't see him until WrestleMania. But where does Drew McIntyre go from here?
the mill is for this is for I think this match is for Taker to go against McIntyre. I think because they wouldn't bring him back for this unless they know he's going to wrestle at SummerSlam. Um,
So James
so to me,
McIntyre's fighting Undertaker at SummerSlam.
I think so. And I think that's a good test for him. Like it keeps him in that upper mid tier echelon. Because to me, that's where he's at anyway. And they're not going to pull the trigger on him to get a title. So at least put him to where he's a formidable guy.
Drew
He's kind of
McIntyre you're talking about, right?
yeah, because we already know where Roman is. But this is just to keep Drew in that upper echelon. Like to be quite honest, his run it's been decent. He's had a couple. He's the guy that could win when against people he should be beating and lose against the people that are better than him. Like his loss record is not that bad. Considering it's Roman and the upper tier wrestlers like the Seths, the Romans, so on and so forth. So it's not like he's losing against scrubs.
I,
So
I
he's
just feel I just feel being underneath Shane McMahon and being his goon really holds him back.
well in this sense it did, but it's supposed to have. But I mean, considering he was with Dolph and he was bigger than Dolph, he wasn't going to get bigger than the owner's son, right? It was just to give him that rub of staying in that upper echelon, in my opinion.
I personally feel if he was out of the dumb of a Dolph Ziggler, then why put him under the thumb of somebody else? Why have that?
Keep in mind, he the one who broke it off with Dolph, and you could tell that Dolph was the one taking a lot of those L's. So you could make the argument that Dolph was holding Drew back more than Drew was holding Dolph back.
But being linked together with Dolph Ziggler held him back.
I mean, I think that was just to get him on the roster.
Yeah. But and
To
that was
me,
kind of the storyline going into it and to build him up.
right?
But then again, alright, you built all that up and then you broke them apart and you were supposed to, strap the rocket to this guy and then you put him back under somebody else's thumb. Don't make sense.
True. Yeah, but it's to keep him busy.
I
I
guess.
mean, the fact that they're keeping him busy lets me know that they hold him in high regards
I
because he
guess.
easily could be not used. He
That's
easily could
true.
be not.
Yeah. Alright, next match, AJ Styles versus Ricochet for the United States Championship. this is probably going to be the show stealer.
It is. It gives Ricochet a guy who, a former champion, upper mid, gives him a chance to be taken seriously. Because everyone's been like disappointed with Ricochet's run, and I'm like, how can you be so? How can you be disappointed? Like he's literally overperforming to me in the sense that, considering the land of like all these big ass dudes, and he's getting a couple wins here and a couple wins there. That's pretty damn impressive to me. And then him beating Joe, which is probably his biggest win, point blank, period. So now he gets to go against AJ Styles, who's going to make him a credible a champion, a credible wrestler in WWE. To me, this will be the show stealer. That's a damn sure. Because AJ Styles could have a match with a broom, and the broom will look good. I see Ricochet. I see Ricochet winning, unless they just want to keep AJ Styles in that upper tier because AJ Styles is a bigger draw, and have Ricochet keep chasing. Or they could give AJ the title just so they could keep the club going. So we'll see how it goes. Because keep in mind, they did the club when he was fighting with Roman for the title, and he didn't get the title, and they broke up the club. So let's see where they're going to go with that.
So you're going with Ricochet for this match?
I think so. To me, I think SummerSlam is going to be like the heels WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I think this is. I think this is just something to get it over to where we get to SummerSlam and it'll be heels night for most, not all, but most.
Yeah, I'm going with Ricochet for this match as well. The next match, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley in the last man standing match.
Two big giants going against each other, just beating the hell out of each other. I don't know if they're going to be able to top what they did a couple weeks ago.
Probably not.
But because that was just out the blue, especially like the first night in the first hour, you're like, holy shit, this is the first hour?
We're talking about first match. That was the first segment.
Yeah, the first segment. You're like, what the hell the rest of the night gonna look like? But yeah, this was gonna be interesting to see. Strowman's supposedly been out with the injury. Lashley has been looking hella strong since he left, or since Strowman's been out. So this one's a toss up for me because I could see Strowman getting back to his roots and beating the piss out of him, but I could also see Lashley barely winning this match. So this is another question mark.
I'm gonna go with Bobby Lashley. Because Braun Strowman needs that. This is the first time, he's had a mountain to climb. He's usually the mountain. So, having Bobby Lashley maybe get a win over him wouldn't shock me.
I mean, I could see Bobby Lashley winning just to continue the fact that these dudes be beating the hell out of each other. So, yeah, I could definitely see it.
All right, next match. Women's SmackDown Championship. Bayley takes on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Bayley.
Really?
They didn't do all that. They didn't give her the title, or they didn't have her win the briefcase, cash it in on Charlotte for her to fucking just lose like that. Bayley.
But they could have Alexa Bliss win and Nikki Cross double crossing her and have a triple threat at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I could see that, but I feel like the whole Alexa Nikki thing is basically that's the storyline.
Yeah.
Like who's abusing who at that point, right? Because they're both going to want to be the champ. Who's going to get that pin? And they're going to fight each other over the pin, and Bailey's going to sneak one out.
Okay, I get that. I'm still gonna go with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
All right, but going with Big Booty Bailey.
Next match, the Revival versus the Usos for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
This is one where my heart is so with the Usos because they are so good. But I just feel like Revival's gonna get it. Like it just they want to keep the Revival happy. They want to keep the tag teams happy, and the Usos definitely need a rival. So why wouldn't it be the Revival? Because that's practically the top two tag teams until like the Viking Raiders come along and maybe the Street Profits or maybe AOP if they pop up anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, Revival as well. SmackDown Tag Team Championship match: Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus The New Day versus Heavy Machinery.
Pinning. That's the weird part. I don't know who they're gonna beat. The New Day is at that point where it won't break them. Heavy Machinery is too young to where they're there. But fuck it, I'm gonna go with them pinning the New Day, just so Heavy Machinery can say we didn't get pinned. Because I see Heavy Machinery going more into the rivalry than New Day.
Sure, you're going with Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
Daniel Bryan and Rowan pinning Xavier Woods. Book it.
I love how it's always Xavier Woods because it's never not Xavier Woods.
Yeah, because they can see Xavier Woods being the weak link. Like shit.
Yeah. It's
What
not
belt?
like he is.
What singles title has Xavier Woods pulled out of his ass?
What
I'll
tag
wait.
team championship has he pulled out of his ass?
That is true too. So fuck it. Yeah.
Because as what I remember was Kofi and Big E won them, and Xavier Wood lost them.
That's true. Well, he's always lost them.
Yeah.
Surprised they beat the piss out of him for losing them that many times. Anyway.
Aleister Black versus Cesaro.
Dark Horse match of the night right here. Dark Horse. I like the style. Aleister Black is he's a striker, could flip a little bit. Cesaro's that technician. I feel like this would be. Keep in mind, this could be match of the night, man. If they let him go, because the style in its sense is just bonkers. I'm excited for this match. I'm gonna go Black. They didn't give him all this time talking shit for him to get his ass kicked.
Oh, without a doubt.
So, and Cesaro's at that point where people are clamoring for him to do bigger and better things. So, I think a loss. The crowd is more forgiving of Cesaro losing to Black than anyone else.
And it's not to say that, Cesaro can't make up a victory somewhere down the line against Black.
That's true. Keep in mind, he did beat the current U.S. champ Ricochet, so it's not like he's like clam chowder over there.
And, yeah, and this is a really good opportunity for Cesaro. Because he's no longer with the Bar. Sheamus might be out permanently, so we might finally get that Cesaro run that people's been wanting.
You mean that Cesaro run that should have been like 6-7 years ago after he won the Andre Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah, but he was wrestling in a ring with 4 ropes and not 3.
Oh man, but I think it. Yeah, you're right. This is a good time for him to take a L, then get the reboot, or continue with feuding with Black. Because shit, it's not like he. I could see him getting a get back.
Well, from what I've heard from some sources was that Aleister Black was actually supposed to take on Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, but that would be detrimental to Black because you got Aleister Black going against the hottest thing in WWE.
But it's a really good rivalry because, Bray's trying to go to do this light thing, being the kids talk show host type deal, and Aleister Black is, well, Aleister Black. Dark and brooding.
True. I see it, but I feel like Bray is at that point where, based on his tweets, he's trying to go after people who've been fucking with him, who fucked him over, and it seems like he's on a revenge tour. So I could see him going after Taker more so than Aleister Black.
Possibly. Well, he hasn't gone after anybody at this point.
True.
And the last match of is the Cruiserweight Championship, Drew Gulak versus Tony Nese. Did Drew Gulak just win the championship?
Yep. So Drew Gulak, although I got to meet those two together at the same time some years back. Never thought I would see them fight each other, but it's Gulak's time. As much as I like Tony Nese, and he's done admirable with the belt, I felt like Gulak should have had this years ago when he had his PowerPoint presentation.
I have no idea what that means.
Oh my God! Oh God! When he was with Enzo, right? When Enzo was the champ, and he used to do this lame ass shtick where he would go, "Allow me to show you via my PowerPoint presentation," and everyone would just go fucking bananas with this PowerPoint presentation. But he never got the PowerPoint presentation off. It was just the fact that he said it. It was just funny. It was over, and he should have won. He should have had it based off that. He was over like Rover, but I just think they didn't take him seriously with his weight because he's chiseled a lot.
He's had some really good matches over the last couple of months with Kushida.
True, but he's also had good matches with like Mustafa Ali. So and Cedric Alexander. It's not like he's been.
Yeah, but people didn't actually see those matches.
See, I have, and that he's been underrated, bro. He's been underrated for a hot minute. He's a good thing.
That you watch 205 every single week?
Hey, man. 205, man. Hey, they are low-key bringing the heat. And I just wish that they did it. I would wish on Tuesdays that they do 205 Live before SmackDown than after SmackDown.
And then they would actually have a full crowd?
Well, one, that, and it would get the crowd heated up to what they're about to see. Because they do main event before fucking Raw, so it doesn't make sense for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense to do one after when everybody's going to leave. You already got it for 2 hours. They're going to be there at 4:30. Why not have them do the show at 4 for an hour, lead into SmackDown, and boom, there you go.
Sure. They sort of did that years ago, but,
Yeah, I felt like that should have been done a long time ago.
Sometimes it just don't make sense when it's right in front of them.
That's true. Cutting their nose is spite the face.
Yeah. Uh, all things considering, Extreme Rules doesn't look like a bad pay preview.
To me, their pay-per-views are never bad because they don't have to deal with commercial breaks, and the wrestlers kind of get a little bit more free time to do stuff and improv. Um, to me, it's the TV shows when they have to do commercial breaks is what's gonna screw shit over because it fucks with the flow, and that's why they've been doing that 2 out of 3 falls stuff to get out of a match having to go on afterwards, right?
I really don't get the 2 out of 3 falls concept. I think it's kind of stupid, but all it
I
tells
get
me
what
is that the match is going to go through the commercial break.
True. But I just don't. I feel like they're trying not to keep the audience having to figure out what the fuck is going on in between. You know what I mean? I see what they're doing, but we'll see. I just don't. We'll see how it goes down the line.
And that shall do it for our Extreme Rules coverage. We'll see what happens. I don't know how you and me are going to watch all of this pro wrestling in 1 week, but we'll have next week New Japan G1 results, Fight for the Fallen results, Extreme Rules results. It's going to just be results show.
Yep. Evolve results.
Who's going to get eliminated from American Idol next week?
Who's the next celebrity guest on Family Feud? Like, yeah, we gotta get it all out the way.
Yeah, all the results from every show.
Every show.
Yeah. Who got the
Even Love Island.
Who didn't get a rose on The Bachelorette?
Yep. Who got kicked off Love Island? Yep.
Yeah, that Jabbo, he got kicked off last week. I was devastated.
Oh, pobrecito.
Alright, if you like the show, please like, subscribe, comment. If you want to find us on Twitter, Kaliko's on Twitter. Where can they find you?
I am Kaliko.
And you can find Mitch Mayhem at Mitch Mayhem X.
In the ditch where I left.
And I'm not on Twitter, so yeah, don't follow me. I am James J. As always with me, Kaliko Yachts, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.